Okay, if you chose group 2, you chose Miss Mercedes Woodbine. Now, how did this end up being a whole nother video? Well, for one, the last one was exceptionally long, and for two, certain stupid things just keep happening, trying to hold me back, and honestly, I refuse to be defeated. So I just decided to maybe this will be a video just consisted of Mercedes for episode 1, and maybe it'll be Mercedes and Clifford. I don't know, we'll see. Let's see what happens. I'll put timestamps down if it does. If you want a little bit of background information, please refer to the video that is designated for autumn, or just tune in for the review of episode 1 that I will do. Now, without further ado, let's get into this group. Miss Mercedes Woodbine, represented by our doll here, Dazzle, the OMG doll. Now, as you can see, she has pink hair, okay, and she is thicker than a Snicker. These dolls look like either the creators looked at Nicki Minaj and said, let's make a doll and not consult her and not give her any money for it. Or, okay, they look like Nicki Minaj created them and just didn't tell nobody, child. But child, sis is thick, sis is stylish, sis is goddamn, you probably can't see by that, but baby, sis got booty dimples. It's a lot going on. This is a children's doll, I guess. Child, I got it in adulthood. I just like dolls, okay? I just like dolls. That's a whole nother story for another time. Let's get into it, okay? Now, for me, Miss Dazzle is representing Mercedes, okay? Why? How? Because, one, let's talk about this pink hair. Let's talk about the color pink, okay? Let's talk about the fact that, you know, when people color their hair, they are peacocking it, I would like to call. Now, most people will use that to describe somebody that is arrogant. However, I use it to describe somebody who is liberated in their being and unafraid to try new things, even if it just concerns their look, okay? So we got the pink there, but then also in a spiritual sense, pink is giving me rose quartz vibes. It's giving me spiritual love and spiritual knowing, which you know, this comes up later in the seasons where it's more talked about more blatantly about Mercedes' third eye. Mercedes being very intuitive. We do see implications of it when she is showing Autumn around the club, and we see her ability to sniff out money, to sniff out a ball of honey, okay? And this is also giving me Persephone vibes. Now, while we do find out that Autumn is good with numbers, she has kind of a accounting type mindset, Mercedes is very intuitive in general. She's very aware of her intuition, okay? And with this being a children's doll that looks very mature, that's just the alignment that has come up, is giving me that Mercedes, the character, as a being, as a created being, Mercedes experienced a lot of adult-like situations as a child in her young life, which has made her very intuitive in her adult life, which has made her more confident in her intuition and more aware of her intuition in her adult life. So those of you who chose this group, you're more than likely, you more than likely fall into the category of people who have dealt with adult-like situations in your childhood. And that is something that plays a part in you being very wise and intuitive and aware of your intuition now. So if you have been struggling trying to find the optimism in your past experiences that haven't been so great, that's a piece of optimism right there. it has made you stronger and more aware and more confident in your intuition, because you have experience to solidify what it is that you just naturally know. So it's like, not only do you naturally know it, you have experience to solidify it. Okay. Okay. Also some sense of duality coming in, understanding that you can be a spiritual being and a sexual being at the same time. You can be accepted by your divine realm and looked at in high esteem by your divine realm, and ridiculed in your earth realm all at the same time. That's a duality. That's accepting the best and worst parts of yourself. Even though this doll may seem inappropriate for kids, which I feel like, personally, I feel like this doll in a lot of ways is inappropriate for young people, okay, for children. However, there are ways that it can be flipped into good. One can explain to their children that there are people who look like this in the world. There are people who want to look like this for a multitude of reasons, in a multitude of ways, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. And you don't have to do this. Okay? Okay, and even if you do, it doesn't mean that you're unworthy of love. It doesn't mean that. Humans put a lot of stipulations on things. But let me not go into a tangent on that. Let me pull the cards, okay, and give y'all something to see with it. Because honestly, much like Mercedes, I don't need cards to read. I use the cards mostly for y'all, so that y'all can see what I see, so that y'all can see externally what I see and feel and hear internally. That's why I use the cards. I don't really need the cards. But just getting into it. And honestly, it's just coming through to me to iterate. It feels like it's a channeled message that needs to be said. A way that you can exercise your discernment when it comes to spiritual leaders or people who do tarot readings in general. Challenge them to read you without cards. Okay? And if they are apprehensive about reading you without cards, you need to be apprehensive. Okay? Okay. Now I said that, it's out the way. Let's get into this. Let's get into this reading. Let's get into this content, okay? So, the song that was chosen, that I intuitively chose for Mercedes, is Two On by Tinashe. I'm gonna get to, I'm gonna get high, I'm gonna get to, when the really to shine, when the dream way to shine. Okay. Because I could literally go ham. I could literally, okay, go more dumb, then go more dumb, then all that. Okay, okay. Okay. Now, when you see Mercedes' first dance that they introduced on the show, you can perfectly understand why that would be her song. Because she go dumb, then go more dumb, okay? Okay? Flip me tan shit up, okay? But that energy translates well beyond past her performance ability. It goes into the way that she functions as well. Two On. And even though the song is more so focused on like a club type of vibe, she's high on life as well. Let's get into the messages of this song. Let me shut the song. Now, That right there is the Ten of Wands. And this right here is the Seven of Wands. So, for Mercedes in particular, in the very first episode, Perpetratin, we see Mercedes. Oh, she comes off so strong, don't she? She comes off with a lot of bravado. She comes off very confident. She comes off very strong. She comes off very expanded and intuitive to everybody else, and she's there for everybody else, and this, that, and the third. We also see her mother take advantage of that, where Mercedes overgives and over sacrifices herself for her mother and her mother's beliefs, her mother's judgment of her, okay, which can put you in this Ten of Wands type of energy. So outside of Mercedes breaking the fourth wall unto you all, you are probably very consumed by other people's thoughts and opinions of you, which makes you a people pleaser. However, you probably carry yourself with this strong bravado, I'm good, everything's fine, I'll get out of this, don't worry about me type of exterior in order to protect yourself, in order to keep people from being too concerned about you, to keep from coming off as weak or from coming off as a victim and this, that, and the third. But that is wearing on you, and it is holding you back. It is holding you back. More of the backlash from this comes in later episodes, but focusing specifically on episode 1, Mercedes is ridiculed a lot for not contributing the money that is responsible for the bartender and the DJ's payout. They're part of the tips from the night, okay? So Mercedes overexerting herself in ways and for people that do not matter, because they do not support her, even though it's her mother. Her mother does not support her. Her mother is an abuser of her, okay? And she overexerts herself for her mother, who is not for her, okay? She ends up, basically, that ends up pouring into, or not pouring into, the pockets of other people who are reliant on that money, who need that money for real, okay? So, while you think that you are carrying yourself in a strong nature, there are certain people that you are weak for that is making you stagnant in your divine path, to where you cannot leave and transition unto the entirety of your divine path, because this sector, this person, this cycle, this people pleasing mentality, as it concerns this little area over here, whatever it is for you, it's holding you back, and you're holding yourself back by constantly giving it energy. Now, this here, we have the Seven of Wands. Okay? Yeah, this Ten of Wands. And this is Seven of Wands. And that means that you are so busy, much like Mercedes, so busy pouring into other people's dreams and other people's aspirations, that you are neglecting your own. And you are holding back your own progress. Now, how does that apply to the song? Okay, so the song is Two On by Tinashe. And it's giving a visual and a lyrical story about, being too on in the club. You turned, you intoxicated, you all of it, you indulgent, basically. You're heavily in your sacral chakra, okay? You're distracted. You're distracted. Some people get off through substances. And some people get off through other people's validation of them, other people's attention, other people's approval. And when we see Mercedes perform, we can see how bucked up she is off of the crowd's approval of her. And then we see how she is weakened by the approval or the lack of approval of her mother. Okay, so while some people are validated by indulgence and drugs or, other things, sex or whatever, what have you, people like Mercedes, who are people pleasers, are indulgent in other people's attention, other people's validation. You get joy, your certain endorphins and dopamine are released in your brain when people give you approval. And that's nothing to demonize yourself about. That usually comes from being deprived of approval, from being deprived of acceptance. And we know that Mercedes comes from a life of that because her mother does not approve of what she does for a living, does not approve of who she is, mostly because her mother is not comfortable and does not approve of herself. Okay? So that has set up a consistency of Mercedes seeking outside validation and confidence and energy from other people. The validation, the compliments, the approval, the praise, the applause of other people. Okay? Okay. Let's get into the symbolism. A symbolism of Mercedes. This is from Couture Hall's perspective. What is the symbolism of Mercedes as it concerns Couture Hall, the creator's perspective? Why did Couture Hall create Mercedes? What is her symbolism of Mercedes? We have wisdom. We have wisdom. It's a white horse. We have wisdom. That definitely goes back to what I was saying about Mercedes' third eye, which is prominently mentioned. Her being very wise. In both areas of life, both spiritual as well as worldly, because her working in the club, her being a stripper, her being someone who is simulating sex and things of that nature, is considered worldly. So she is dual. She is has this feeling of being tugged between two different worlds that she's very knowledgeable about, feels this pressure of having to choose, much like Autumn. Much like other people in the show as well. I will touch on that more so in the review, so make sure that you come back for the episodic reviews, okay? Trust and faith. Trust and faith. So we see many times where Mercedes is coming out very confident, very trusting, and very faithful in herself. We're introduced to her in a handstand on the pole, just talking about a random experience in the club type shit. But I want to talk about the pose that she's in when we're introduced to her. She's in a handstand. She's upside down, standing on her hands. The root chakra resonates mostly in the feet. Okay? And the energy of alchemy resonates in the hands, which she's standing on her hands. And she is grounded. She's stable in her hands. She's stable in the sense of alchemy, in the sense of creating. She's very creative. Okay, not only is she very creative, she's able to make something from nothing. She's able to make something from nothing. She's able to make nothing look like something. Okay. and she gets the baby card. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean a actual baby. This can be a dream. This can be a business, things of that nature. And now what we know about Mercedes is that she is working on a youth community dance team. That's her babies. Those are her babies. And we found out some other things concerning that throughout the other episodes. I'm going to save it for the other episodes. But that dance team is her baby. Her dream is her baby. And she's in the process of making it. Now, there are a lot of obstacles that come up. There's the stigmatization of being a stripper. There's the stigmatization of being a brown skin stripper. I've been a brown skinned woman in general. I've been a brown skinned woman with obviously African-esque features as well. Not only that, but also being a brown skinned woman with African-esque features that is confident, intelligent, and confident in her intelligence. Because like I said in the autumn reading, for some reason, people have a problem with brown, dark-skinned women being confident. Child, I have seen it so much, it is literally mind-boggling to me that people have a problem with brown-skinned women being prideful and confident and also verbal. For some reason, they just want them to shut the fuck up. And I'll be like, child, they got shit to say and I want to hear it. Why you want them to shut up? But child, yes, that is a obstacle that is up for Mercedes. I'm gonna save the other part of that for the episode in which that other part is revealed. But basically, in a nutshell, Mercedes is symbolizing being able to overcome all odds. Basically, everybody wants to stack up all of these odds against you, and I'm breaking the fourth wall now. I'm talking to you in particular. Everybody in your life more than likely has made you and reminded you so much of the obstacles that you have to face. You're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do that, you're gonna have this come up, you're gonna have that come up, and da 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 da. And you've done so very well breezing through that. But lately, perhaps it's been harder for you to maintain that faith and trust in your dream, in your baby, in your alchemy, in your divine realm. And it is basically testing you in a root chakra type of sense. It is testing your core. It's testing your sacral chakra, your core. It's testing your foundation. Okay, it's testing your foundation in yourself. You're trusting yourself and you're trusting your divine realm. It's giving you real life experiences of being tested, such as Mercedes' money being played with, her sense of stability being played with, her intelligence being played with, things of that nature. And if those are some things that you are experiencing right now or have been experiencing lately, like Uncle Clifford said, it's a stepping stone, not a tombstone. Use that to test yourself. You're being tested to see how bad you want it, and also to see how pure your heart is, to see if you are going to become what you despise and start stepping on people and doing fucked up shit to get what you want. And no, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm honestly telling you to do the opposite. I'm honestly telling you that in a simple sense, the devil wants you to become him. The devil wants you to step on people to get ahead. But your divine realm is challenging you to use your greater strength and to function in your higher self. To just trust in your divine realm and trust in yourself that things will fall into place for you. Okay? and to understand a time and a place for you to take your hands off of things and to just let your divine realm do the work. And that will be touched on much more as it concerns another episode. But take that and do what you can with it, child. Okay, let's get into how does Mercedes perpetrate. Now this will be synchronized with how you perpetrate. How you perpetrate, child. How you perpetrate. How does Mercedes perpetrate? We have the Five of Swords here. The character Mercedes often feels like she is at war with the world, like everybody is against her, and then in certain points it probably has been like that. And it's easy to feel like that if your mother is unaccepting of you, and if your mother has been so against and combative to everything that you like and everything that you are, everything that you try to be as well. It's very easy to feel like the world is against you when your parents do not accept what you want and what you are. How do y'all perpetrate? We have the Nine of Swords, and with that, it's giving. It's very similar to Mercedes, but in this sense, with the Nine of Swords, y'all are replaying a lot of heartbreak and a lot of betrayal over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, to where your functionality is a grand response to everything that you've been through, which is fine, which this revenge is your paper, okay? Yeah, naturally you're going to respond to what you've been through. However, there's a need to redirect the attention. There's a need to understand the value. And the reason why I take a side on this is because this is something that I am working on myself. Understanding that there is a need to be kind to everyone. Oh, and child, that's hard. That's hard, especially when it seems like everybody has been so cruel to you. However, you never know your angels in disguise. And you could be trying so hard not to get hurt that you end up hurting the person, the last person that you want to hurt, but you end up hurting the person that is actually sent into your life to help you. And for some of us, we end up learning that the hard way by seeing how that person responds to us hurting them. And that person is so gracious to us. And that person is so forgiving to us. And then we feel guilty because it's like, damn, I thought you was going to hurt me, so I hurt you. But damn, even though I hurt you, you still here trying to help me. Gosh, you got to forgive yourself. You got to start giving yourself grace. And for those of you who that resonates with, that person is coming into your life to show you how to be more compassionate with yourself, and that you need to be more compassionate and more forgiving of yourself, so that you can start issuing that same energy out to people who actually deserve it from you. Gosh, I hope they resonated. I hope they helped. Okay. Message of her character now. The message of Mercedes. This will come from the actor's perspective. Her name is Brandy. This will also come from the actor's perspective. So this is the message of the character. So this will be the intent that Brandy put behind her, as well as just what is specifically for you what you need and why you are drawn to this character. Amusement. This is the amusement card. You need to have more fun. Mercedes spends a lot of time being about the bag, the bag, the bag, the bag, the bag, forming her journey, alchemizing, 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 which is great, which is great. But there's a need to just live and enjoy life and enjoy your craft, okay? And not just use it to get ahead, but to enjoy it for yourself, not just making yourself up so that people can enjoy you, not just going out so that people can indulge in you, things of that nature. There's a need for you to do more for the fun, the betterment, and all of that of yourself. Oh, child. Okay. Oh, girl. Gulf of the Marcial. Oh, I can see that. Gulf of the Marcial. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I speak Spanish better than I speak French, so please forgive me if I say something wrong. But Gulf of the Marcial, the Marciale, however you say that. It is the number one. So yes, new beginnings, a new environment. There's a need to move. There's a need to change your environment. And woo, child, coming from Mississippi myself. Mississippi is a great place, filled with culture, filled with a lot of history, filled with a lot of great people, but also filled with a lot of crabs in a bucket. People who just want to hold you back. Misery loves company as people, child. And for many of us, there's a need to move, even if we come back, but there's a need to just move and get a new horizon, get a new perspective, get a new environment, get new energy. And that is what y'all need to move forward, to get something different, just a new environment, just move. So for those of you who have been thinking like, oh, should I go ahead and get this place? Should I go over ahead and move to this place? Should I go ahead and go on this vacation? Should I go ahead and move in with this person? Do it. Even if the outcome is not perfect, it's a experience that you need so that you can grow, so that your mindset can expand, so that your heart set, your spiritual set can expand. That's funny. She got one of the same cards that Autumn got. A lot of things about Autumn came up in this. So some of you may need to also watch Autumn's read. Not necessarily, what I'm picking up on is not necessarily for yourself, but there may be somebody in your life that you are having a hard time understanding. Much like Mercedes has a hard time understanding and warming up to Autumn. Okay, so y'all may need to tune into that reading as well, so that you can gain a better perspective of somebody in your life, or maybe even a percentage of yourself that reminds you of Autumn. Okay, so for those of you that resonated with, tune into Autumn's reading and see how that helps you. But Autumn got this same card, if I'm not mistaken, in the same spot, the symbolism and messages. And this is Mont Saint Victor, and this is giving a sense of victory. This is giving reclaiming your power, reclaiming authority over yourself, in which Autumn is leaving an abusive relationship. Mercedes is in an abusive relationship with her mother. Her mother is abusive. Her mother does not put hands on her, but her mother is very spiritually and emotionally abusive to her. The way that she manipulates her and shames her and humiliates her in order to get what she wants. And there's a need to reclaim your mind, body, and spirit, become your own savior and save yourself, reclaim your empowerment, reclaim your confidence, reclaim your divine path. Okay, so that you can save yourself and get onto your abundant path and claim your divine abundance. Child, and honestly, that is all I have for y'all, and I hope it helped. I hope it resonated, child, and I hope that y'all will continue to tune in for the episodic reviews as well as more character analysis and reading reviews that will come up. Now, even though I did character analysis and reviews on, the people in this video in episode 1, these people are going to show up again, which means that I will end up doing character analysis reads for them again in different episodes. So there are certain things that I touched on in this video that I will end up being more in depth with in other videos concerning them, and there are certain things that I touched on in this video that won't come up in other videos. So make sure you continue to tune in, okay? And feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, but specifically comment so that we can discuss what it is that I see, what it is that you see, what it is that, you heard from me and throughout the show, all of that good stuff. Share if you care. It helps me help you, help me help you. Okay. We'll see y'all in the next one. Hit on my description box and see how you can follow me on other platforms where I also do free content and also some promotional material for paid content. Okay. I hope it helped. I will see y'all in the next one. Thank y'all.